Good day, guys. This video will be all about the measures of position of ungrouped data. So, kukunin natin ang percentiles, deciles, and quartiles ng dataset. Okay, so these are the measures of position, and actually we can include median as a measure of position. So percentiles, those are values that divide a set of data into 100 equal parts. Don't forget the key word, okay? Cent. Cent, that is 100. Kaya nga ang century ay 100 years. Okay? Basta percentile, it divides the dataset into 100 equal parts. Decile naman, those are values that divide a set of data into 10 equal parts. Don't forget the keyword dec. Dec is 10. Kaya nga ang decagon has 10 sides. A decade has 10 years. So kapag ka-decile, those are values that divide the dataset into 10 equal parts. Quartile naman are values that divide a set of data into 4 equal parts. Kaya nga diba, in one school year, there are 4 quarters. Okay? Kapag ka-quarter, 4. Quartile, 4 equal parts. And median, which we talked about in the measures of central tendency, we can also classify it under measures of position because median divides the dataset into 2 equal parts. So here are the formulas that will help us obtain the percentile, decile, and quartile of a dataset. So if you're going to look at the formula, they are similar. Yung difference lang is yung denominator. Okay, kapag ka-percentile, yung denominator is 100, decile is 10, and kapag ka-quartile, it's 4. So let's have an example. Okay, given this dataset, let's try to answer this question. What is the 50th percentile? Okay, before tayo mag-solve ng percentile, decile, or quartile, kailangan muna nating tingnan yung dataset kung naka-arrange siya in ascending order. Ascending order, that is from lowest to highest. So actually, in-arrange ko na to in ascending order, so wala nang problema. But of course, in your activity, kung hindi naka-arrange yung dataset, i-arrange mo muna siya from lowest to highest. So in this question, we are asked to get the 50th percentile. And of course, that is percentile. We'll be using this formula. The denominator should be 100. Okay, so 50th percentile, that is P sub 50 in symbols. And kung titingnan mo yung formula, may dalawang unknown variable, that is the K and the N. Ano bang isa-substitute in place of K? Okay, so if you're looking for the 50th percentile, ang isa-substitute mo ay 50 in place of K. So if you're asked to solve for the 62nd percentile, you substitute 62 in place of K. So dito, we are asked to solve for the 50th percentile. Yung subscript is 50. Ang isa-substitute natin ay 50. And then we have here N. N in statistics is usually the number of values in the dataset. Okay, so bilangin lang natin kung ilang numbers ang nandito sa dataset natin. So we have here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So our N is 12 plus 1 over 100. And don't forget the TH. Okay, so after substituting N and K, we solve for the result. Diretso ko na sa calculator. And the result is 6.5. Don't forget the TH. But of course, it depends. Kung 6.1 yan, dapat ST. Okay, 6.1st. Okay, ganun ba yan? Okay, so ganun dapat yun. Okay, is this the final answer? Well, actually, hindi. So, yung formula na to ay ginagamit lang natin para malaman natin yung position ng 50th percentile. So, yung 50th percentile daw ay yung 6.5th number sa dataset na to. Now, if we're going to look at the dataset, this is the first number. This is the second. This is the third one, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, and so on. Okay? Ang kailangan natin na number or yung 50th percentile ay yung 6.5th number sa ating dataset. So yung P sa 50 na to ay a number in between the 6th and 7th number. So to get the 6.5 number, we do linear interpolation. So paano ba itong linear interpolation? Makinig. Okay, so linear interpolation is used for us to exactly know the number in between the 6th and 7th number. Okay, to do that, we break this down to two parts, okay? This one here is the integer part, 6th. Okay, and 5 is the decimal part, 0.5. Okay, dapat kung inad ito, dapat 6.5. Okay, so ulitin ko, linear interpolation, we break it down to two parts. We break this 6.5 into two parts. That is the integer part and the decimal part. Okay, so after that, we get the integer part, 6, and then we're going to add it to the decimal part. And then the decimal part will be multiplied to the 7th and the 6th number. Bakit 7th and 6th? Kasi nga, the 6.5 number is located in between the 7th and the 6th number. Kaya yun 7 minus 6. Alright? Now we're going to substitute this one. The 6th number is 157 plus 0.5. 7th number is 159. Naglalag. Minus the 6th number, which is 157. Okay? And then after that, we're going to solve for the result. And ika-calculator ko na lang siya, guys. 157 plus 0.5 and 0.5 is 159 minus 157. And the result is 158. So yun, guys, ang final answer. The 50th percentile is 158. 158 is the 6.5th number. Okay? So how do we interpret this? This means that 50% of the values in the dataset are lower than 158. Okay? Let's have another example. Okay, for this next example, we're going to find P sub 70, or the 70th percentile. Okay, that is percentile. We're going to use this formula. And as I told you, whatever the subscript is, yun yung isa-substitute natin sa K. 70 ang K. And we are using the same data set. So there are 12. Plus 1 divided by 100. And don't forget the TH, or depende. Okay, so I'm going to solve for the result. That is 9.1. Since 1 yun, we're going to change TH to ST, 9.1st. Okay, so yung 70th percentile, or yung P sub 70, it is the 9.1st number. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yung hinahanap natin na number is in between the 9th and the 10th number. Pero sabi ko nga, since ito kasi ay may decimal, we are going to do linear interpolation. And to do that, we break this down to two parts. So 9th number, this is the integer part. Isa-separate natin ang kanyang decimal part, which is 0.1. Now we continue solving for the 70th percentile. So kunin natin yung integer part, which is 9th. We're going to add it to the decimal part. And then yung decimal part na to, we're going to multiply it to the 10th number minus the 9th number. Because what we're looking for is in between the 10th and the 9th number. Okay, then we substitute whatever the 9th number is. So 9th number is 161 plus 0.1. 10th number is 164 minus the 9th number, which is 161. And then we solve for the result. So gamitin ko na lang din yung calculator. And so yung result here is 161.3. So the 70th percentile, or the P sub 70 here, is 161.3. Okay, so 70% of the values here are less than 161.3. All right. Now, what if we are asked to solve for D, or decile? Okay, so here we have here D sub 3. This means that we are looking for the third decile. Okay, decile, so we are going to use the formula with the denominator of 10. So D sub 3 is equal to K is 3. And since we're using the same data set, yung N natin is 12. This is 1. And then all over 10, don't forget the TH. And if we're going to solve for the result, I'll be using my calculator. Oh my gosh, masyado akong calculator dependent. Don't be like me. And the result there is 3.9. So the third decile is the 3.9th number in the data set. So I told you, hindi na naman siya whole number. So kailangan natin gawin ang linear interpolation para malaman natin yung exactong number. Okay? So we separate here the integer part and the decimal part. And then we do the linear interpolation. D sub 3 now is equal to, it should be third, RD. Okay, so the third number plus its decimal, 0.9. And then the decimal part, we're going to multiply it to fourth minus the third number. Okay, bakit? Because the 3.9th number is in between the fourth and the third number. Okay, nandito yung hinahanap natin na number. So the third number is 150 plus decimal part. We substitute the fourth number. The fourth number is 152 minus the third number, which is, oh my, naglalag na siya. Mahina na ang laptop natin. Okay, minus the third number, which is 150. And then we solve for the result. I'll just use my calculator para mas madali at mas mabilis. The final answer here is 151.8. The third decile is 151.8. 151.8 is the 3.9th number in the data set. Okay? So actually, we can express deciles in terms of percentiles. The first decile, D sub 1, is actually equivalent to the 10th percentile, P sub 10. So, for example, ito ang ating data set, no? Ang P sub 10, that is actually equal to D sub 1. Okay? And so on. Now, try naman nating mag-solve ng quartile. So, ulitin ko, quartiles divide the data set into 4 equal parts. So we have quartile 1, or the lower quartile, quartile 2, or the median, and quartile 3, that is the upper quartile. Here we are asked to find the third quartile, or the upper quartile. Okay, so let's do it. K is 3, N is, well, actually we're using the same data set, 12 plus 1 over 4. Bakit 4? Because that's quartile. And TH. And then we solve for the result. So the result is 9.75 TH. So we're looking for the 9.75th number. So the number that we're looking for is somewhere in between 161 and 164. Okay, to get that exact number, we do linear interpolation. That is, we separate the integer part, which is 9, and its decimal part, 0.75. So the third quartile now is equal to the 9th number plus its decimal part, And the decimal part is multiplied to the difference of the 10th and the 9th number. So I hope you're following. Now we substitute whatever is this, okay? And we calculator. And yung final answer na natin dito is 163.25. That is the third quartile. Okay? The 9.75th number in the data set, or the third quartile, is 163.25. So if you're asked to solve for the first quartile, just replace 3 with 1. Okay, so ganun lang. So we can also express quartiles in terms of percentiles. So the first quartile, Q sub 1, is the 25th percentile, P sub 25. So if this is the data set, okay, nandito yung 25th percentile, that is actually equivalent to the first quartile, okay? P sub 50, D sub 5, and Q sub 2, they are equivalent. And here, P sub 75, that is actually equal to the third quartile. Oh, so thank you guys for listening. That is all for this video. I hope you already know how to find the percentile, decile, and quartile of an ungrouped data. Don't forget of the keywords, guys. Percent, cent is 100. Decile, dec, that is 10. Quartile, quart, that is 4. So those formulas are used to get the position of the number. Okay, so after getting the position of the number, we're going to use the linear interpolation kung yung na-solve natin sa formula ay may decimal. Okay, pero kung walang decimal, you just look for that number. So kung yung na-solve mo sa formula ay fifth, you just look for the fifth number in the dataset and that's the final answer. Pero kung may decimal, like 5.3, 5.3, kailangan mong gamitin yung linear interpolation para malaman mo yung 5.3 number na yan. So if you didn't yet subscribe, please do subscribe down below. And I really hope na natulungan kita sa video na ito. See you guys in the next video. Bye!